Our top focus on WION right now. Well, India is the latest casualty in Donald Trump's new tariff wave. A sweeping 25% duty has been slapped on Indian exports, one of the steepest rates among Asian nations. Trump cited India's high trade barriers, but also took aim at New Delhi's growing ties with Russia and its active role in BRICS. He posted online that they can take the dead economies down together for all I care. It's a clear signal Trump is now using tariffs not just for trade, but as leverage on broader diplomatic issues. For India, once the most optimistic country about a second Trump term, the reality is now quickly shifting. Similarly, Trump's closing on Pakistan has a strategic angle to it. Pakistan's vocal support to Trump's Nobel Prize bid and supposedly all reserves have helped them secure major trade concessions. Trump's tariff playbook is expanding, mixing economic pressure with geopolitical demands. Brazil was hit with a 50% tariff threat over a domestic probe into Trump ally Jair Bolsonaro. Canada also faced a similar warning for recognizing a Palestinian state. UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer was pressed on oil taxes and immigration, not trade, while the EU, Japan and South Korea have largely complied. Neutral countries like India, Brazil and Canada are now showing signs of resistance. Yet, Trump's team insists that it is working. Tariff-driven revenue has surged and several partners rush to strike the deals. Trump's strategy marks a shift from traditional sanctions to raw market leverage. Instead of freezing finance, he's now weaponizing access to the world's largest consumer economy. The results? Billions in customs revenue, record-breaking U.S. stock markets, but also economic friction. China retaliated by curbing rare earth exports, forcing partial U.S. reversals. Mexico won a 90-day tariff delay by pushing back. Brazil's President Lula gained poll support by holding firm. And leading to some exemptions, India and Russia remain defiant. Whether this tactic strengthens U.S. global dominance or alienates long-term partners remains an open question. And well, for more on this, we're now being joined by KM Chandrasekhar from Trivandrum. He is a former Cabinet Secretary of India. Welcome to WION, Mr. Chandrasekhar. First up, of course, what do you make of this 25% tariffs imposed on India by Trump, given at a time when negotiations were ongoing, and how perhaps can India negotiate with Trump at this point of time?
Thank you very much for having me on this program. So far as this 25% is concerned, I really think that the more important problem is the issue of instability, not 25%. They started with 35%, went down to 10%. Now it has grown to 25%. And there is a threat that if we don't stop buying oil from Russia, or if we don't stop buying weapons from Russia, there will be more tariffs. So I don't know how the exporter or the importer will ever be able to fix the price, because the price is fixed based on the level of tariff. If the tariff is at a particular level, you bring down your price to a corresponding extent. But if the tariff is fluctuating, how will the exporter come to a deal? And even the importer, he buys at a particular price, then suddenly finds that he has to pay a much higher tariff. How will he buy? So the whole thing is, it could lead to a complete stalemate in global trade. That is, I think, the major issue here. The 25% is high. But there is no certainty that it will remain at 25%. It could go down if there is a negotiation which pleases Trump, or it could go up. There's no certainty.
Right, Mr. Chandrasekhar, you speak of how there's no certainty at this point of time, and given the fragile nature of any possible deal, given that the US delegation will be visiting India this month, how perhaps can India safeguard its interests in the long term?
I think India will continue to negotiate as best as they can. They have certain sensitivities which really have been impressed upon all trading partners from time to time in the WTO and outside. We have difficulties in respect of agriculture. There are doubts about GM crops. There are other sensitivities also where India will find it difficult to yield. I mean, after all, farmers is a big issue, as we saw during the COVID times when the farm reforms were initiated. So I doubt very much whether India will have so much flexibility to bring it down in certain sectors. Now, in the long term, it is important that India looks elsewhere, and our exporter will look elsewhere. If he cannot fix the price with the American importer, he will have to look for other markets. So we, as a government, I think, we will have to see that the channels of exports is opened up with other areas also. That should be the strategy. And considering the fact that this already has occurred, this uncertainty has already occurred, I think it is best that we diversify our trade.
Right, Mr. Chandrasekhar, you speak of how India needs to diversify its trade and look at other markets at this point of time. Do you think that one of India's strategies should also be to stop perhaps wooing America, if I can say so, and do the hard talk? Because the imposition by Trump, 25% tariff on India, comes as 5 rounds of negotiations had already happened between India and the US.
Yes, I'm a bit surprised that Trump has not yet realized the real problem that our negotiators face, that our government faces. We are a big country, we are a democracy, and we have to ensure that our farmers are taken care of, our industry is taken care of. So it's surprising that this tariff has been imposed, but certainly I don't see any long-term solution other than looking for more avenues, and particularly BRICS. BRICS, I think, is what is irritating Trump the most, because it has about 39% of the world GDP belongs to the BRICS countries with the new additions that have come. So we have to perhaps look at the last BRICS summit also. I think it is very clearly focused on this. It is trying to look at diversification within BRICS, how trade links can be established, how trade links can be further developed so that there is more trade between the BRICS countries and with other countries. And India again will have to look at the WTO, see how it can be revived with or without the US, and you'll have to work on that. It's a long-term solution. Right now, what we can do is just keep on negotiating, hoping for the best.
All right. My last question to Mr. Chandrasekhar. Do you think that Trump perhaps is using trade as a weapon? Because clearly Trump took an aim at New Delhi's growing ties with Russia and its active role in BRICS. Do you think that he is now using trade as a weapon for broader diplomatic issues?
You are absolutely right. I think it is happening. If you look at the tariffs that he has now imposed on Brazil and the order that has been issued by the United States government, it says that this tariff takes into account the problems faced by Bolsonaro and his successors and his followers in Brazil. That is one reason. The second thing is a High Court judgment Supreme Court judgment which Trump did not like. So those are the reasons. I mean, if the Supreme Court tomorrow takes a decision in India, that could be sufficient cause for an increase in tariff. My real worry is that total instability that now prevails in the global market and how we are going to overcome that. This is not only India's problem, it is a problem which all countries, all important trading countries, and particularly the BRICS countries, will have to sit and discuss.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Chandrasekhar, for joining us here on WION. That was KM Chandrasekhar, former Cabinet Secretary of India.
Thank you very much. Thank you.